The Kiva podcast is now coming to you from our South Hill podcast studios, with your host behind the mic, William Lee. And now here he is.
Welcome to Keep Alive. I'm your host, William Lee, podcaster, podcast publisher, and the co-founder of The Disruptors. That's the Disruptors Podcast Network. Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you back. This is our first show on 2022, a great year, I believe, for podcasting. Even though the ruckus with Joe Rogan and all those misinformational information that's been posted all over the, I think, podcasting world and on social media, we're going to see a change. I hope we're going to see a change. Let me put it that way. It's a growing industry, and naturally there's a lot of problems, and people want to speak out with their Second Amendment rights. So we'll move right on with the show, because today I want to talk about something else that I find very, very disqualifying and heartbreaking, and that's the world of you're pre-qualified. Have you noticed of all the wonderful organizations that want to give you money? Yeah. Credit cards and banks and private investing companies that want to help you out with correcting your loans and your credit and paying off all those bad credit cards, or even remortgaging your home. It seems like now we are continuously being bombarded by these great offers. You're qualified. You're pre-qualified. You're the one. We can help you. Cash is on its way. Credit when you need it. I've never heard of so many marketing ideas in my life. And I imagine the postman is getting kind of tired of taking tons and tons of mail and delivering it to folks that immediately look at it, if they're smart, and throw it in the garbage can with the comments afterwards of, can't we save some more trees without having this type of literature printed on paper and sent to us? Good point, isn't it? Well, today I want to talk a little bit more in depth about how this all works and how it can affect you. Just recently, we decided we wanted to do a podcast on credit card availability of credit. And that's something that I had not really worked with. I hadn't even thought about it for probably the last 20 years. I didn't believe in credit cards. In 2002, my wife passed away, and I decided that, no, I don't want any more to do with any of that. I decided if I didn't have the cash, then I didn't really need to talk about it. And I stayed with that for all these years. But when we get an opportunity to do a show, I thought maybe it's time now to see what's really going on. I had members of my family that were just loaded with credit, literally loaded down with payments, and daily trying to figure out how they were going to cover one bill from the other. They were living a life between minimum payments. Minimum payments, that's kind of like fishing. You're out in the lake there, and your credit card company has a big hook that says, I can give you money to get you to the dreams that you want. Just simply grab onto this hook and bite into our program. And once that happens, they haul you into the boat, and you're done. I studied a story just recently about a gentleman in Seattle, Washington, who sued Sears and Roebuck over the factor that minimum payments, in the way that the credit card situation was set up, there was no possible way of ever paying for that item without going for 10 to 15 years just paying minimum payments. Of course, everybody knows the minimum payment is a lure to do one thing. Well, Bill, what's that? It's to simply see if they can't get that 30%, or in some cards, 39% interest. Yeah, on the unpaid balance. That can really, truly add up to some dollars. So what do? We think to ourselves, well, I can buy 30 days more time to get up the money and get it together and get my bills taken care of, to wipe out this, as I call it, the big barracuda of my financial world. 30 days goes by, and things were a little tight. The children needed braces, or the car broke down. And it goes on and on and on. And what happens? Well, I'll just go another 30 days and make a minimum payment to get by. This is the biggest people trap in credit, in the credit world of finances in the history of this country. And if we could see the exact credit due and the amount of financing that's been done, it would probably be in the billions of dollars. Well, what an easy way to make money by enticing people to get what they want now without any cash and pay for it later, and pay on and on and on. And meanwhile, while you're trying to make ends meet, another letter comes in the mail. Listen here, we have pre-qualified you for a $1,000 credit line with our simple You Got It credit card. It's wonderful, and it's only 35% interest. Whoa, only 35 cents on the dollar when you make a minimum payment. Man, that's really unusual, isn't it? Okay, I agree the credit cards or people that extend money out need to be paid for their efforts. And I'm sure the credit card companies have it pretty well wrapped up that even if you don't make the minimum payment but pay the card off, there's still a catch in there somewhere. Just a small, minute one, I'm sure. Nobody is Santa Claus in the credit business. Never has been, never will be. And meanwhile, to use blackmail against you, they remind you of your credit score. Now, if you run too much credit card debt, your credit score could drop substantially. If you have too much outstanding bad debt, your credit card could mount to a lower amount available in their limits when they send you another new card the next trip. Or maybe you'll find that the newest bank card that came to you so that you can hop online and fill out the paperwork, wait 10 days, and there it is in the mail, is another catch. Financial, what I call manhole, that will suck you down and remove your pocketbook, your bank book, and usually put you into a situation of actual, I think, heartbreak, because you won't be able to do the things you want to do because you are strapped with debt. Now, of course, there's companies that'll come into your world and say, wait a minute. We can prove to you that we can eliminate half of your credit card debt simply by consolidation. Don't file bankruptcy, come see us, and we'll make sure that we can get your bills under control. In some cases, this is a great way of doing business. However, even though they know the tricks of the trade with the credit card companies, it still bounces back on you. Anytime that you take a credit card and you walk into a store and make a purchase, you put yourself in credit card jail. It's as simple as that. And the only way to get out of credit card jail is to have the cash to back that card or that purchase in a short-term period. That way you don't look at these disastrous pitfalls that the credit card industry enjoys. I don't know about you, but I think I'm just going to go back and take a look at some of the figures and facts that we've dug up throughout the months and then make my decision. Of course, I'm going to use the internet and compare credit cards and different programs on what I call your credit card safari into the world and the jungles of high finance. Check things out on the internet. Check things out by asking questions and starting conversations with your banker or financial advisor. You'll think twice before jumping into different cards if you have the facts and figures in front of you, and if you know what's going to happen if financially you run into a pitfall or something comes up that you've seen in your financial future. I've been there. I've been in debt and had to crawl my way out. In fact, I didn't even worry about a credit score. When I looked it up a few years ago, I think it was about as low as you could go. And still, they would allow you to be on the credit rating system. And I really didn't give a hoot because, you see, I invested in what's called cash and banking. Wasn't interested in credit and financial woes at the time. Now that we put this podcast together, I've accumulated several credit cards. By putting in information on an application of one of these wonderful, you're pre-recorded, pre-qualified, you're just pre-ready to go to what I call credit card misery. And I was very successful at it. Of Of course, I don't use the cards, and some of the cards I even cut up after I received them, sending them back to the company saying I'm not interested. An average person, if they do it right, and do it to a system of filling out the application form, doing creative financing on your net income and worth, and shipping it back over line on your wonderful computer, waiting for that "we can approve you" in just a few moments. Isn't it interesting that out of all the credit cards that we planned out, from American Express, Capital One, some of the other great credit bank cards, we discovered that once we had one card nailed down, that all of a sudden we would get 3 to 5 card applications, "you're approved," per week. I felt sorry for my poor mailman hauling all that extra weight around that I was eventually going to put in the dumpster. But here's the clutch that really upset me. Once these cards started coming in, it was like vultures flying over your house. These great companies that were going to give you cash today. In 24 hours, we'll put cash in your bank account so that you can pay off your credit cards, get a home loan, fix your house, remove damages from your car, and have all the finances you need to put that car back on the road. It is scary. In a younger generation that doesn't study all this stuff or get an idea what they're doing, it's scarier. Now, you think having a credit card is a wonderful thing. How about the kids that get credit for school loans and things of this nature to go to 4-year institutions? Well, maybe they want to market a great new, well-educated plan for your students by simply giving them a credit card. In the end, when they end up $75,000, $80,000 in debt, depending upon how long they can survive in school, they come out with the reality of, "I really don't know what happened, but now I have a debt that I can't shake." On top of that, the credit card companies start looking at you saying, well, maybe we could, maybe we couldn't. Maybe we could give them a credit limit of maybe only $300 and get them started back to healthy credit life. Credit, folks, is wonderful in emergency situations. But let me tell you a tip that I found. If you need to make a purchase on a credit card, have the cash behind the card to pay it when it comes due. When the grim credit card reaper sends you a notice in the mail or online to tell you what your account looks like for this month, make sure you have those funds ready to pay that card. If you don't have the funds, don't go to the people trap and pay just the minimum balance. When you do that, remember, yes, you're building up credit, maybe not. But you are standing behind the obligation that you used the card and they gave you the money, and this is the agreement. You know that thing that comes with a credit card in the envelope that has 4 million words that are so small print you have to use a magnifying glass to see it? Yeah, that's your soul, and the devil is the bank. So please, if you're getting involved with credit cards, use common sense. Find the card with the lowest amount of interest. Number 2, find a bank that works with these cards, preferably within your state or area of the country. There's a lot of great offers coming out of Florida and some of the other really neat, close states, at least to me. Well, when I say close, they're under 5,000 miles away. Make sure that the credit card is hooked to a reputable bank or mortgage company. Don't fall for ABC Mortgage or Uncle Paul's Bank of Siberia. Bad mojo right off the bat. These are usually signs of organizations that are working to clean your bank account and give you a situation with, in paperwork, there's no way to fight them until you pay them off. Everybody needs good credit, and credit is a bond that shows that you are honest and trustworthy. But don't let credit, don't let banking, and don't let the financing world take you away. When you know the time is right to make a purchase using common sense. Research out each individual flaw that may come up in your purchase choice. Never get a joint credit card. That's one where they ask you, well, hey, you've got a credit card. Is there a